Remember, to be a disciple, you need a teacher, right? In the first wave, bless you, was Jesus seen primarily as a teacher? But all over the Gospels, really, especially John, Jesus is a revealer and a teacher, right? That means that didn't come from stage one, did it? Do you understand what I'm saying? When you're reading the Gospel, let's go back a step. When were the first Gospels written? First wave? Were there any Gospels first wave? Look at the first wave. Were there any Gospels first wave? Were there any writings? No. There's no writings first wave. Look when the Gospels come. They come after the second wave. That means Paul's letters are before the Gospels. Where do we start getting to see Jesus presented as someone who teaches? In the Gospels, third wave, but mainly the fourth wave. Did Jesus teach? He did give teachings. They were pithy sayings and parables. Please, don't think, though, that one who gives teachings, that means he's a teacher, right? I give you theology from time to time. That doesn't make me a theologian. Nor do I claim that. So try to understand that earliest literature as church comes from Paul. 1 Thessalonians and his 6 other authentic letters. How many teachings does Paul recall of Jesus? He doesn't care about the teachings of Jesus. So you got a whole way. What does that tell you? That tells you he doesn't see Jesus primarily as what? He sees Jesus as cosmic Lord and Messiah. That's the only reason he's talking about this hick Galilean. Well, how does he know that? Because he experienced him on the way to Damascus. Yeah. So he only rarely quotes a teaching of Jesus. If he wants teaching, he's Hellenized. If he wants teachers, he'd go to Plato, Socrates through Plato. He'll go to Greek philosophers, the Stoics. Why would he go? You understand what I'm trying to say? He's interested in one thing about Jesus, and that's the imminent return to establish theocracy. Soon to return to establish theocracy in Israel. That's what Messiah does to Paul. Yeah. Second wave is almost synonymous and overlapping with the first. Okay? Because Paul's operative when the first wave is. By the way, do you think first wavers and second wavers get along real great together? What do you think? First wavers think this is all about barbarian Israelites, right? We're centered around Jerusalem, and means we gotta dress and eat like people there, and mutilate genitals, and do all those things. You gotta have that nick. And Paul's a Hellenized Israelite. For hundreds of years, Israelites have been living in the Mediterranean world since after Alexander the Great. They've been not Israelites, but they haven't been doing the Torah stuff because it really doesn't work outside of the Levant. So do you think when Paul goes to as a change agent, as an apostle, out there to diffuse the innovation, I mean the gospel, to those people, do you think Paul's going to be insisting that before I talk about Jesus, come on, let's get Torah right. You got to start, I'm getting the knife out. Gentlemen, come on, let's go, line up. Is that what Paul's doing? Not really, no. He's not going to do that. But what do you think is going to happen when they go to Eucharist together? The Pauline Jesus groups and the Petrine Jesus groups. You think they're all going to be real buddy-buddy, everything's great in this Mediterranean honor shape culture? Well, but you don't think we're able to get over that. But the thing is, what I'm trying to tell you, Colleen, is there were clashes. There were problems. And the Spirit worked in that mess. And then you get Luke Acts being written way in the fourth wave. And he makes it look so pretty. Like everything's fine and there were buddies. Oh, they were close. Not really. When you read Paul's own letters, how does Paul refer to Cephas? He calls him Cephas. His Aramaic name, that barbarian. so-called super apostles, Peter and James and John. Paul was a very difficult man to get around with, okay? By the way, St. Paul, pray for us. But he was very... Focus is theocracy, proclamation of kingdom of Skyval, Israelite theocracy to Judean barbarian Israelites in the Galilee, Perea, and Judea. All right, soon there's going to be a theocracy. That means we have to heal people, make all the excluded included, and everybody's going to get their right honor status back when God establishes theocracy first. Very soon, maybe when the Sky Vault man comes, then in the death and resurrection of Jesus, it's Jesus who's going to return, and he's going to do that. That's the first wave. Group formation. So in the first wave, it's political religion. That's the best way to say it, political religion. In the second wave, it's domestic religion. Groups are forming in houses, in communities in the Mediterranean, and they're meeting together and they're breaking bread together and going into alternate states of consciousness in domestic religion in the absence of political religion, which is coming any day now. We're waiting for Sky Vault theocracy to come to Israel, and we too, as Israelites, will be included there. What about the non-Israelite members, the one or two we have? Yeah, I guess. Sure, why not? They smell bad. Okay, third wave. Third wave, now the death of the apostles has caused the grandkids, the third wave, right, grandkids, to go, hey, wait a minute. Dad, Paul never told us about the teachings. And the theocracy hasn't come yet, so we need to talk about Jesus' teachings because we're going through problems right now in our communities. Now that Paul and Peter and James are dead. That's why we'll write a narrative gospel called Mark. That's why this wave produces the Gospels. The focus is Jesus' celestial activity in the Sky Vault as we await the kingdom of God, Israelite theocracy coming any day now. And how do we set that up? We have to give his story on earth, which is a reflection of that. We didn't know that he was the Messiah when he originally came, but he was. And soon he will return. And some communities think he was made Messiah at his birth, at his baptism, or maybe made Messiah when he was resurrected, established as Israel's Messiah. And this is how these different communities have different takes on that. But all of them are agreed that they're awaiting the soon-to-come theocracy. They want to know, what is Jesus doing now? Does he care about me now? So that's that. And that's reflected in Mark and Matthew. And the earliest form of John, which we no longer have. Okay, fourth wave. Now even more time has passed. Now I'm interested in, now these are the great-grandkids. I'm interested in learning about granddad, Paul. That's why Luke Acts is written, not only talk about Jesus, but talks about Paul's adventures and Peter's. And so that's why that's written at that time. And of course, it's polished and spun and embellished because Luke is like James Carville for Bill Clinton. He's like that for Paul. He makes Paul look good. Like David Axelrod did to Barack Obama. That's what Luke does for Paul. And you also have the pastoral letters being written at that time because, man, the theocracy is not coming. So what do we do with these groups? Don't we need structure? Can anybody just lead? Can we just keep having these wandering change agents coming in with their ASC experiences, telling us their new revelations? No. We have to lock it down a little bit and start, and that's where we have proto-orthodoxy beginning to develop, right? And proto-Catholic. This is the sub-apostolic times. What do you think about all this, folks?